and the ballot papers are to be sent for printing virtually the next working day thereafter.
Yes, naturally, because otherwise how will they?
This is part of the election.
How do you want to proceed?
So the question is that primarily my submission at this moment.
How do you want us to proceed? We will hear submission.
I'll submit that. Let the matter be fixed for Monday, and we'll argue. I'll come back prepared.
Then it will become a purely academic exercise, or we suspend the order. Then we can have Monday. So we have to be fair to both sides. So because we don't mind hearing on Saturday and Sunday even, because we realize that elections must go through as smoothly as possible and in accordance with the law.
Exactly.
So we are prepared to sacrifice any working day, any time, morning, night. Now we are just asking your availability. But if we, on your request, adjourn it to Monday, then we will suspend the order, because otherwise we don't know what the reasoning of the decision is.
May I submit then? Let it be fixed tomorrow. That will give us some time to prepare.
Yes, by all means you're entitled to.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट में इलेक्शन कमीशन की पेशावर हाई कोर्ट के फैसले के खिलाफ अपील पर समाअत जारी है। सुप्रीम कोर्ट के चीफ जस्टिस काजी फायज़ ईसा की सरबराही में 3 रुकनी बेंच इसके ऊपर आज समाअत कर रहा है। जस्टिस मोहम्मद अली मजहर और जस्टिस मुसर्रत हिलाली भी इस बेंच का हिस्सा हैं।
फाइनल ऑर्डर जो उनका है वो
पेज 54
जी
annexure B2
जी
My Lord, Your Lordship wants me to read the entire order or just the operating part?
Whatever you want to read so much of it, so we can understand what the controversy was, what the applicable law was, and how it was applied and decided. Now we leave it to you. You're experienced enough to know what we want.
My Lord, the issues are related to the inter-party elections. They have pointed out different defects.
My Lord, yes.
In the inter-party elections.
My Lord, yes.
This is the main cause of concern of the Election Commission of Pakistan.
Yes, my Lord. My Lord, the brief, if Your Lordship may permit, the brief background of this case is that the last election of this party were held on 19th of June 2017. And according...
Does the law provide for holding of elections?
Yes, my Lord.
If you can keep referring to the applicable law, it will be...
My Lord, yes. The applicable law is, my Lord, the Election Act of 2017.
Section?
And Your Lordship will see initially the powers of the Commission are identified, but if we move on to Section 200 and 200 onwards, it relates to political parties and constitutional political parties. And the election is then, my Lord, Section 208. My Lord, this bundle contains all the statutes.
No, we have the book.
All right. Section 208, the office bearers of a political party at the federal, provincial and local levels, wherever applicable, shall be elected periodically in accordance with the constitution of the political party, provided that a period not exceeding 5 years shall intervene between any two elections. A member of a political party shall, subject to the provisions of the constitution of the political party, be provided with an equal opportunity of contesting election for any political party office. All members of the political party at the federal, provincial and local levels shall constitute the electoral college for election of the party general council at the respective levels. The political party shall publish the updated list of its central office bearers and executive committee members by whatever name called on its website, and send the list and any subsequent change in it to the Commission. 5. Where a political party fails to conduct intra-party elections as per given time frame in their constitution, a show cause notice shall be issued to such a political party, and if the party fails to comply with, then the commission shall impose fine which may extend to 200,000 rupees but shall not be less than 100,000 rupees. My Lord,
what was the allegation of the Election Commission?
My Lord, Election Commission initially wrote to them saying that according to your constitution, the period of elections is expired, which according to section 5 of their own constitution was 3 years for all of
their constitution.
My Lord, their constitution is just get the page 124. Sorry. Page 140, volume 1, and the section is section 5.
Page बताएं, where is it?
Page
124 है आपका part 1 में. देखें जो आपके page.
Sir, relevant party elections, that begins from page 140.
वो article 5 है.
Yes, sir.
I hope you're impressed. My learned brother has read the file. I am impressed. I have not read it, but he has. Yes, it's page 124. And what
the relevant page is page 140.
140.
Internal party elections.
G.
Elections of the chairman. The chairman of the party, the leader shall be elected by the direct secret ballot of all the members on the registered database of party Federal EC. Party Federal Election Commission shall conduct this election. Election of the chairman shall be held 2 years before each scheduled general election in the country. Then, my Lord, 5.1.4 is not really relevant because what happens when the chairman's position falls vacant? Then 5.2, the elections for all following offices shall be held every 3 years in the first week of the month of April. So that's the duration. As your Lordship just saw.
What is the procedure in the constitution for the appointment of Federal Election Commission of the party?
Yes, my Lord.
मुझे नहीं मिला वो मैं इसमें constitution में देख रहा हूँ.
ये क्या चीज़ है? Federal Election Commission.
The Election Commission of the party holds elections within the parties, my Lord.
नहीं, I think my Lord is referring to 5.1.2.
Yes.
What is that? The Federal Election Commission.
Yes, my Lord.
Party Federal.
If your Lordship turns to page 182.
क्योंकि उनका इतराज़ इलेक्शन कमीशन का ये भी है कि ये एक आदमी का कमीशन बना और ये फेडरल इलेक्शन कमीशन नहीं था. ये this is what the impugned order says in some context.
Yes, my Lord. And the
appointment का तरीका नहीं है constitution में इनके.
My Lord, at page 192. 192. An election commission, page 192, my Lord. An election commission shall be formed comprising following.
Federal Election Commission.
Federal Election Commission. An election.
Chapter 9.
Yes, my Lord.
Page
192.
They use the language of the Constitution.
Yes, my Lord.
Of Pakistan. Election Commission.
Yes, my Lord. An election.
This is not the Election Commission.
No, my Lord. It is the intra-party election commission. An election commission shall be formed comprising following: Federal Election Commissioner, Chief of the Federal Election Commission.
Who was or is the Federal Election Commissioner?
My Lord, at that time, it was initially there was one Mr. Jamal Akbar Ansari.
Kya?
Mr. Jamal Akbar Ansari.
Jamal
Akbar Ansari initially, but now
Akbar
Ansari. But thereafter he was replaced, and he was replaced by the respondent number 2, if I am not mistaken.
What's his name?
Mr. Niazullah Khan Niazi.
तो ये 5 लोगों का कमीशन हो गया ना. एक चेयरमैन हो गए, 4 सूबे से हो गए मेंबर.
नियाजुल्लाह खान नियाजी.
6 मेंबर्स. 4 सूबों से.
बाकी कौन थे?
मिलोड बाकी 4 तो कोई नहीं.
6 लोग हो गए.
That is one of the issues, my lord, that there were no other 4 persons. There was just this central person.
फेडरल कमीशन 7 लोगों का बनेगा ना इस हिसाब से. एक चेयरमैन होंगे, 4 सूबे होंगे.
हमसे पूछ लें ये सही है?
According to ECP, there was no the other members of the commission were not appointed. That's part of the impugned order.
Is it correct?
nobody is responding.
In accordance with this constitution.
ये कोई respond करना चाहेगा? ये factual query है. Don't argue the case. Mr. Makhdoom Ali Khan says that there was no commission constituted by the political parties. Is this factually correct?
No, incorrect.
So where is the document showing? No, where is the document to show us the commission's constitution?
So that's why I was saying for a while, because they are now presenting it without proper notice to us. But we have satisfied the High Court. And one more thing which I want to say.
No, Khan Sahab, we will certainly hear you, don't worry. Because when a factual statement is made by counsel, the way I like to proceed is, I want to narrow the controversy as much as possible. If that factually is correct, I will take it as correct. So I always call upon the other side sometimes, is this factually correct? They say yes, no. So then we will say, then the question will arise, where is the proof of it? So if either you accept his statement or you don't accept his statement, you can certainly refer to any document or something you filed. We certainly will consider that.
Sir, but one thing which I wanted to request, prior to coming on the facts of the case, the question of maintainability, may be allowed to make my submissions on maintainability, locus standi of election.
No, but if we talk about maintainability, then you'll have to argue first.
Yes. On the question of maintainability.
Yeah, but then because you said you wanted some time to prepare yourself, so we are just getting the facts because you may not have time enough. So we're just trying to save time. So we're just going through the case to understand it. And yes, you can say I reserve my right to argue on maintainability. We certainly will hear you, but we're just trying to cover some ground because probably you're not ready yet. Fine, that's fair enough, and we will give you time.
But a preliminary objection can be heard prior to.
But then, provided you are ready to argue it, if you're ready to argue it, we'll hear you.
On the preliminary objection that they have no locus standi to.
Fine. Do you want to argue it now? We'll hear you.
Yes, that's
ready with it.
Argue now because
you never said so. That's why you said you will argue tomorrow. So that's why we said okay.
That's about the facts and other things. But right now, the relevant thing is whether they have to show how do they have the locus standi to file this petition. Election Commission is a quasi-judicial body.
Correct.
Two judgments of this honorable.
No, let me just correct you here. Election Commission is not just a quasi-judicial body, it's a constitutional body.
Constitutional
It has,
body.
from my understanding,
Right.
it has two functions.
Right, sir.
One, regulating the affairs of political parties, and which is the ongoing exercise, and the other is the free and fair elections. Okay. So probably we are at the moment in the first thing, that regulating the affairs of the political party.
Right.
I would imagine, unless I'm wrong.
I'm trying to submit here is that it is a body which has a power to make quasi-judicial decisions. It's a quasi-judicial body when the matter of dispute
their decisions are orders. They can be
this
absolutely.
Honorable Court has very recently held in two cases that such bodies have no locus standi to file the petition and come before the Supreme Court in defense of their own orders. So kindly consider those two judgments. In the light of those judgments, they have no locus standi to be here.
देखिए, ये तो फिर भी constitutional body है. एक second. Even the collector appeals comes to the High Court, comes to the Supreme Court, when even though it's his own order, he is arguing his own order, effectively speaking. So ये तो constitutional body है. तो just देखिए, then there will be another issue. Then another question of maintainability will arise. If you are questioning their maintainability, then the question of your maintainability will arise. How can you approach a High Court? फिर वो question आ जाएगा.
Naturally, any adverse order I have right to challenge.
No. Which forum? The Supreme Court. अभी पहला हमने केस सुना ना, क्या नाम है, APML. वो कानून में लिखा है to come to the Supreme Court.
डायरेक्ट अपील है वो. डायरेक्ट अपील है.
तो फिर वो question of maintainability will also cut you.
No, sir. The thing is, as far as their locus standi is concerned, there are two judgments of statutory bodies.
Locus standi, simple सी बात है ना. Locus standi is a different thing from capacity. Their local standard, from what I can understand, is they have passed an order. There's right or wrong is a different thing. We don't want to go there. And they say if we have to ensure our orders are abided by, unless set aside by a law of a competent forum. So all they are doing is ensuring that even if it's an illegal order, let's not get bogged down in that debate. If they just give up, then the orders will be rendered meaningless.
Then a affected party, which brought the matter before the election commission, has the locus standi to file, but not the election commission.
Affected party can inform the election commission for whatever reason. The election commission may act on its own. Election Commission may act on the information of a person, but now that they've passed an order, they're not entitled to defend their own order and surrender.
That's what I'm submitting.
On what basis?
Kindly see the case of a district judge. He passes an order. That order is challenged before the High Court. High Court sets that aside. Can the district judge come before the Supreme Court that in defense of his own order? No, it's a judicial body.
There is a slight difference. Not a slight difference, a major constitutional difference would arise. The district judge falls under the hierarchy of courts to be supervised and controlled by the High Court under Article, I don't know, what is it, Makhdoom?
Whatever it is. I'm just giving an example.
Now this is a separate body. You cannot apply that argument. The separate body, I've given you the example of Collector of Customs. Every day they are filing before us. Collector of Customs appeals. His own order is come and it's been turned upside down by the High Court. So he comes before us. We hear him. Nobody's ever raised an objection that they can't be heard.
There are two cases recently in which this Honorable Court has held.
But which are those two cases?
Yes, those two cases. The recent one is 2023.
PLD?
PLD 2023, Supreme Court, page 516.
And the other one?
And the other judgment, where the Ombudsman has...
other judgment, yes.
The other judgment is PLD 2020. 2020.
Supreme Court.
Supreme Court 586.
What was the facts of the first case?
They have held...
So first case, let's go to 516. What is the ratio in that case?
Yes, they held the order which was passed by Commissioner and was challenged subsequently before the High Court, before the Appellate Forum and High Court.
Which commissioner?
That the commissioner cannot come.
The commissioner, Election Commission?
Yes, not the Election Commission. In that case, it was Competition Commission.
Gee.
But there is a clear judgment.
Okay. So how is it? No, let's finish with one judgment at a time. How is this judgment applicable to a constitutional body?
Sir, kindly see para 23, page 535. Why I'm putting this before this Honorable Court?
Please.
The whole exercise may be unnecessary.
Let's read it. To be honest, I've not read it, so let's read it. You may well be right.
Page 23. It may also be petitioner to mention here that GNN's food which may have been aggrieved of the decision of the tribunal on the point of non-applicability the provisions of section 10(2)(a) of the Act has been impugned the decision of the tribunal by preferring an appeal to this court, and it is the commission that has challenged the decision of the tribunal on that point by filing the appeal. In this regard, we may observe, though the role of the commission under the Act is primarily of a regulatory body, it is a quasi-judicial, as well as some provision, as well under the same provisions of the Act. The provisions of clauses A and D of section 10(2) of the Act, in our view, envisages the quasi-judicial role of the commission while declaring upon the divergent claims and allegations of two competing undertakings. And as held by this court in Bahaki Motasif's case, the adjudicatory body deciding a matter in the exercise of a quasi-judicial powers between two rival parties under a law cannot be treated as an aggrieved person if its decision is set aside or modified by higher court under the law or by a court of
Are you equating a quasi-judicial body with a constitutional body?
Sir, statutory body.
Are you? I don't know what your answer is.
There is.
So first say yes, no, then you proceed.
Distinction between a statutory and a constitutional body. They are all under the law, under the fundamental law.
No, not at all. A constitutional body functions under the Constitution.
Yes.
A statutory body is a sub-constitutional body functioning under a statute. So are you equating the two?
Sir, rules, the certain principles are equally applicable to statutory as well as the constitutional body. If the principle is that a body is vested with quasi-judicial powers, it exercises a quasi-judicial power, passes an order between the parties.
I would call it a constitutional power. The Constitution grants, we don't make this Constitution, we only interpret the Constitution. And I don't want to read words into the Constitution either. The Constitution, in its wisdom, the constitutional makers created a separate constitutional body.
Yes.
Now, you may well be right, and I may agree with you 100% that a statutory body which determines a matter should not file an appeal. However, it will raise the questions how a collector of customs, etc., are filing appeals. But that matter is not before us, so we will not dilate on it. Can you show us a decision where a constitutional body, preferably the Election Commission of Pakistan, the same principle has been enunciated by this court?
Sir, actually, the principle initiated is enunciated here as well as in another case of 2020, where ombudsman.
Ombudsman is also a statutory body.
Sir, what they are relying upon is the statute and provisions of the statute. Sir, for all intents and purposes, they are acting under the Election Act, and that is a statute.
Ansab, this will amount to virtually finishing off a constitutional body.
Sir,
one thing is you are now on a very technical, hyper-technical argument, for which you have no precedent. The two precedents that you have filed, I'm just thinking aloud, apply to statutory bodies. Here we're dealing with a constitutional body. A constitutional body is altogether different from a statutory body. If a constitutional body feels aggrieved, either you let the constitutional body do its work. Probably they will argue that why is the High Court interfering in the work of a constitutional body? Unless it's something blatantly unconstitutional, I don't know. Whether the forum would be the High Court or the Supreme Court, I don't know. I'm just raising the questions as they come to my mind. But please don't equate a statutory body with a constitutional body. I will not do so.
Sir, the two bodies.
So मैं आपको हामिद खान एक आया था, मैं आपको बताता हूँ. I was sitting with former Chief Justice Jawad Khwaja. The matter came for holding of local government elections. The Supreme Court had passed a number of orders extending the dates, and Jawad and some, let's say, valid reasons were given for extending the dates. And I leaned over to Jawad Khwaja Sahab, and he was about to do so, and I told him, I will write a dissent. He says, why? I said, that's a constitutional body. How will I direct it to do so? It's their job. And he said, oh, you got a point. And we did not. We said, this is their job. Do your job. We can call upon you to do your job, but we cannot take on the functions of the constitutional body. There's a very clear line of demarcation. So if they're not doing their job, or they're doing their job unconstitutionally or contrary to the law, yes. But if they're doing their job, we won't take over their job, how to do it, how better to do it. I don't know. But then every judge will start running a constitutional body.
Constitutional body performing function under a statute. The whole controversy is arising after that statute, which they are relying upon with the Election Act. So in this case, while exercising powers under the statute, it is a statutory body for all intents and purposes.
चलिए हमने आपका objection note कर लिया. ये बताइए, do you have an exact case on the point of the Election Commission of Pakistan? Because yes, we will consider these submissions, but if you have an actual case, you will further clarify the matter.
The two cases are recent.
वो हमने देख लिया. One is ombudsman.
वो तकरीबन कोई 58 करोड़ थी, 60 करोड़ रुपए. हमने अगले 6 माह में उस इनकम को
1983
statute, but you can reserve it. You don't have to respond. So you can continue bolstering your argument when we give you an opportunity. We've heard your original objection. It is not something which immediately appeals to me.
Okay.
I mean, but having said that, I'm open to persuasion. So is that fair enough?
Yes.
So shall we let Mr. Mahdumari? Shall we let him proceed on facts? And wherever a fact, not the law or his interpretation, is wrong, please let us know that this is factually wrong. So let's make some progress.
After completion of the arguments, I still reserve the right to take this objection.
By all means. By all means. I mean, yes, it's a very valid, you have every right to take an objection. Ji.
My lord, if your lordship permits.
No, but coming back to one factual statement which he made, he said there was no, what is it called?
Federal
Election Commission.
There was no appointment of Federal Election Commission according to your own constitution.
Is this correct or not correct?
We did it according to our constitution as well as in accordance with the requirement under the statute. They both have been met.
नहीं वो किधर है वो कागज दिखा दीजिए ना हमें. Where is the body, the Federal Election
Commission? This case has only been filed yesterday. We had no notice. We could not file a response. I would have done all that. But kindly see the circumstances made to argue this case.
No, Khan Sahib, dekhe na.
On the other,
एक second ना. This is not. Let's not say I've been taken totally by surprise because this matter has been taken by you to the High Court, both in intra-court appeal as well as writ jurisdiction, and then you had filed something here which you withdrew as well. So it's not something coming surprise. So this is very basic. Their thing is either, I don't know what their plea is, that the elections were not held or not held in accordance with your own constitution. So far, that's what I've understood. Now, surely you know their case. It's not that this is very surprise to me for the first time. So think about it. You can meet it. If you want to file some concise statement, we allow you to do that as well. If it's not already on these pages of documents, you can file a concise statement, or if you want, we can summon the record of the Election Commission of Pakistan, which may not even require you to file the concise statement because whatever is there will be there. Do you have any objection to that? We can summon their actual original file, whatever.
You must have filed all documents to the ECP along with your certificates, which is the requirement of law that you submit the certificate along with all prerequisites and requirement which you have fulfilled for holding inter-party election.
Yes.
So वो चीजें record पे होनी चाहिए ना? Then how will see
हम मंगवा लेंगे. I think we will send for it. Continue, Mr. Mahdum.
My lord. My lord, may I, with your lordship's leave, briefly draw your lordship's attention to page 31 of paper book, part 1. Page 31. And I'll immediately thereafter come back to the point. Page 31.
Ji.
That is the copy of their petition.
Their petition in the High Court. Your lordship will see.
This is the only petition on which the short order has been
This is the Peshawar High Court petition against the judgment on which we have come before your lordship.
Okay.
There is the official respondent is only one, Election Commission of Pakistan. Page 31, Election Commission of Pakistan. The other 4 respondents are the members of PTI. So neither the Federation nor any other body has been impleaded as a respondent. If the Election Commission of Pakistan can be sued in the Peshawar High Court, but has no right to appeal a judgment of the Peshawar High Court, that means that whatever has happened in their case is final.
Why did they array these individuals as part?
My lord, because they were the members and who were complaining that the elections were not held fairly and were not held in accordance with the constitution of the party.
They had filed a complaint with you?
With the election commission, yes, my lord.
I think
There were 14 complaints before there were 14 complaints before the election commission.
When? 14 complaints?
My lord, yes.
But here there are only... sorry, there are... okay, I thought there's only... So, can you... These names are what? Raja Tahir Nawaz, Akbar S. Ahmed.
Yes.
These are members of PTI or they are some other people?
Yes, my lord.
Troublemakers.
They are members of
parties.
So,
no, are they other party people or are they PTI people?
They are PTI people according to us.
Okay.
My lord.
My lord, I represent respondent number 10, Akbar Babar, just in case.
Akbar Babar?
The respondent number 10.
He's now respondent number 10.
Ji.
Okay.
I filed my...
were they before the... they were before the High Court?
I had filed a complaint.
Respond number 3 था.
Wrongly claimed being members.
My complaint is a...
Sorry, एक second. Khan Sahab क्या कह रहे हैं? Khan Sahab, can you just speak in the mic? There, your mic there or mic here?
Yes, sir. What I am submitting, they claim, the election commission is saying that these other respondents are the members of the party. They are not. That's
okay. चलें. इनका कहना है कि they're not members. Can we show us their complaint? Any one complaint?
One of the complainants before your lordship, he was respondent number 3.
दिखाएं वो अकबर एस अहमद की दिखा दें.
230 at page 230, part 1 of this paperwork.
230. Ji.
This was a complaint, my lord, and the context on the next page, if I may, on 231, there's a title summary of electoral fraud. In the absence of basic rules of any elections that allows a level playing field to contestants as detailed above.
नहीं, आपका इसमें membership का कहाँ लिखा है पहले वो बताएं ना कि मतलब how you have claimed to file any right of this complaint.
Well, Lord, the issue of my membership has been in court before the SCP for the SCP says 240.
नाम के नीचे देखें क्या लिखा है आपने. इसमें लिखा है आपने फाउंडिंग मेंबर ऑफ पीटीआई.
जी बिल्कुल.
इसका जवाब इन्होंने दिया.
जी मैं गुजारिश कर रहा हूँ कि मेरी मेंबरशिप तो ये कंटेस्ट करते रहे.
नहीं, इसका जवाब किधर है इनका?
ये कहते हैं कि आप मेंबर नहीं हैं.
Where is it? Where is the reply?
They did not respond to my complaint. There is no written reply to my complaint. It was only argued verbally by counsel.
Verbally, factual things cannot be verbally argued. So.
Your Honor, I'm not aware of any written reply to my complaint that was filed before the ECP.
But he's given a number of things. If you can read the different...
Mr. Akbar S. Babar has been a founding member of the PTI and he has held office within the party.
Please read what it is, don't argue. Please read on 232 under his signature.
His address, his cell number...
जारी है. अभी खबर आप तक पहुंचाएंगे. पाकिस्तान मुस्लिम लीग के सदर चौधरी शुजात हुसैन की ज़ेर सदारत